Hey everyone, it's Karen Hurd here. It is good to be with you guys, WomanWize Tribe. I hope you're having an awesome day. And I've got with me a special guest, Tarrah Meyering. And we met in one of the groups, and I was so impressed with her story. I wanted to share it with you. And I asked her, and she agreed. And so we've got Tarrah is from Michigan. Tarrah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
We currently reside in Zeeland, Michigan, which is near Holland, which is on Lake Michigan side. So we're not far from the lake.
It's pretty. It's gorgeous.
It is very pretty.
And you have how many? Pardon?
All 4 seasons.
All 4 seasons and lots of snow. I used to live out by you, and I still remember the first year I was out there. We were walking on campus literally on 3 foot of snow, and then as it melted, we realized we were that high up the whole time.
Yeah.
So how many children do you have?
Here I have 4, and the oldest is 16 and the youngest is 9.
Okay, I remember those years. We have 5. We're on our youngest. And what was impressive to me about your story was the length of time you looked for a solution for your children's health. And
yes.
Tell me a little bit about what happened, and then what it was about that event that you said, that's it, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah. Well, in 2005, our oldest was 3.5, and she developed something known as Kawasaki Disease. It's commonly referred to as KD. KawasakiFoundation.org. You can find out more information about it. It was classified as a childhood autoimmune disorder. And it's something, just very quickly and briefly, an explanation where something triggers the cells in your body, all the cells, to become inflamed. And they don't have a cure, they don't have a test, they don't have necessarily know a lot about it. It's kind of a disease that has only been around for about 40 years or so. And named for 40 years. Yeah, named for 40 years. Yes, around as far as Dr. Kawasaki in Japan had discovered it, so to speak. So this is something that can cause coronary heart damage. It can be something that my daughter and other Kawasaki survivors need to be aware of because of the inflammation. The veins in the arteries were stretched to a degree, and that can just sometimes, when it goes back, some of those walls can become like fragile, and you could have an aneurysm at any given time at any part of your body. So it's something that that many years ago, I was on a course looking for options for not just her, but specifically because of that, that something that transpired. And I can relate to that because I have a daughter with an autoimmune disease. Yes. Yes. So you're like massive mama bear saying, oh no, you are not getting my baby. Oh, it was crazy. Yeah. And just the side effects from it. We've dealt with like nosebleeds, just out of the blue, joint pain, besides the heart strength that we need to maintain. But, you know, I can't say that she hasn't been a healthy child otherwise. She's been active. A lot of Kawasaki survivors aren't active necessarily. So they can't, because of the heart, they can't necessarily perform sports and things. And she was a figure skater for many years and dances and plays golf now. So did that strengthen her heart, or is Kawasaki one of those things that it just weakens it and there's no strengthening of it? It could weaken it if it gets to a certain level. You have a 7-day window to be given IVIG, which is plasma content. Yeah, but I mean 7 days. And you have a 7-day window where if it's not diagnosed, meaning they don't rule out everything else, and then all these things, kind of these 5 symptoms typically pop up as you go along the way, including a high fever over 104. Then it starts causing that damage. So she was given on day 5 the IVIG. So they had narrowed it down where they felt comfortable giving her the IVIG at that point. So an infusion of 16 hours, and it was terrible. But you know, the next day we did see that she was already starting to look better, and her EKGs and her heart monitoring was already improving. So we felt good and confident that that was the diagnosis, but we still deal with it, years later. So it's just something we have to monitor as she continues. So.
And with autoimmune disease, for those of you that don't have, a lot of times with autoimmune disease, it's not like they look at it, because lupus has fever, joint pain, inflammation. RA has joint pain, inflammation.
Yes.
Inflammation is a characteristic of a lot of autoimmune diseases.
Yeah.
And it's usually a process of what it isn't before they decide what it is. And so a lot of times, if you can get a quick diagnosis, it's unusual.
Yeah.
Because a lot of autoimmune the symptoms look like each other. And at first they don't look like anything that's a big deal, like anything that's not a flu, for example.
They sent us home actually with flu the first day that we took her to the ER. I was just like, I don't think this is the flu. I'm a new mom, and she's 3, my first one, but I'm pretty sure this is not the flu. Like it was not the flu. She hadn't thrown up. There was no diarrhea. It was just a fever. And there was something about her that she was just so uncomfortable, couldn't get well within herself at all for nothing. And in the next day we took her back in, and we had a diagnosis of either leukemia.
Oh, good grief.
Cat scratch or Kawasaki. They didn't know. And then they changed it a couple times in there, and they didn't think it was, but throughout we got that diagnosis, and we were seen at a very good children's hospital here in Grand Rapids, GR, at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. The DeVosses. But they were very good there. And we were happy with that. But, along those lines though, I looked at the doctors in that 7-day period, and I just thought, they don't know. They don't know, they don't know what's going to help my daughter. And the hopelessness I felt, it was just like, it hit me that these are the top people in the area, and they don't know what to really do right now.
And they don't know what that trigger is. They don't know it for lupus. And what's interesting, just for you to put in your bomb basket, is that I was doing some reading, and in lupus, they found, now we know that a rodent study, only 10% of that translates into human health, but they found in rodents a bacteria that escaped the gut, and it triggered a lupus response in mice. So I think we're going to find out as the biome research expands that a lot of these diseases that just grab our kids, there's no genetic thing in the family. It's literally out of the blue. You cannot point to an event that said first this, then this. It's just your kid is really sick one day, and it doesn't make sense. And your mama's instinct is to sit there. And that was the cool thing Dr. Wu-Tan said, was that mama's instinct is the best thing.
Yep. I remember him saying that, and I thought, yep, I know it is. And I wasn't overreacting. I knew there was something wrong with my child, and we know our children. He said, you know your child best. And I was like, yes, I do.
That's right. Yeah. So I think we'll find that for these mysterious autoimmunes, we're going to find that some of that answers in that gut biome.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're definitely right. And I more and more feel like gut health is definitely the biggest issue with that a lot of us have, and that is these mysterious stomach illnesses, these mysterious stomach cramps or pains. It's just I definitely think so. And along with what we did with what in 2005, as I went along, I was looking for solutions that non-toxic cleaners. I was looking for trying, I was just thinking,
sorry, I think my internet is going in and out. 1 second.
No problem.
We were just talking about the joys of technology. So please start again where you said, you were talking about they don't know the gut, the stomach. And then the next thing you said was?
That in 2005, that even that far back, I was looking for different solutions. I was looking for, I was actively looking for Shackley, and that was what I ended up using. And I was actively looking for ways to bring non-toxic solutions into my home. And no one was telling me about these things. I was going to the store and looking on the shelf and trying to figure out, with 2 kids and crying, you know, like what these things said, and, you know, how I can decipher one from the other. And this one looks good. Okay, throw it in. You know, like that's just, as a new mom or as a young mom.
What led you, something you said when we first talked, that you felt it was something in the environment that flipped the switch for your daughter. Is that why you started with the cleaning products going non-toxic first?
Yes. In the 70s and early 80s, they thought that it was carpet cleaners. They thought that because
Kawasaki was carpet cleaners.
Yes, they thought it was the chemicals in the carpet cleaner, because kids would, you know, absorb things through their feet, because they run around without socks and their hands, they crawl. So they thought that it was just a lot of that as a child, and something would trigger in some kids, not all, and then they would have this response. That may or may not be true. But that got me thinking, well, what if it is? You know,
easy place to switch.
Why take a chance, right? So I just started, you know, getting an excuse not to clean. My God, no.
There you go. But on top of that too is women and children metabolize things differently than men. So women and children are more impacted by what's in the home. The other thing is the study was done, a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them actually. That was because, my internet again. I'm so sorry, you guys. I shut all my tabs, really, I promise. I did. So we were talking about, because women metabolize, and then the breast cancer studies, because of the exposure that women at home and children at home have to cleaning products, that they were at greater risk for different things. So that was the first place you went to. And it was really frustrating, you said, being in the grocery store and kind of going, oh, whatever, this looks right.
I just thought these were my choices. I didn't know there were other choices out there. And like I said, I was actively looking for non-toxic solutions. And nobody told me about it. So that's why I'm just so passionate about sharing with other young moms that there are other solutions, and I know where to find them now. And I don't like want to be pushy, but I'm almost like, yes, look at, hello, you know, like I have solutions, and, you know, and I didn't know, you know, so I'm happy to share with moms groups, with, you know, just young moms in general who I know that are having babies and don't have time to look, really.
Right. So what were some of you were looking for non-toxic cleaners at the beginning. Did you have anything in particular that you said, oh, I know that this is a bad thing, or did you just look for the label that seemed the most natural?
Yeah, I mean, I would look at the label critically, but I didn't really know what I was looking for or not looking for. I, you know, everybody was like, you have to just use bleach. And I was like, bleach and water, like, I don't know. And I was like, but like, and I knew like the Mr. Clean, like, you know, those white, like those were bad.
Magic erasers.
I just knew it. I had 2 or 3 of them, and I was just like, I don't think these are good. And then, you know, so I just kind of, you know, but other things were just so common, and you just go and buy them. That's what
you do. You don't even think. And sometimes it's not until you completely detoxify your house that you go back into the aisle and you can then suddenly it's like your body's aware of all the chemicals that before. Go on.
I was never a big perfume person, so I was never a big like that kind of, you know, scent kind of person. But yeah, I can totally smell everything. I can't even go near those aisles really anymore. Just neither can my kids now, so that's good.
There you go. Now you've kept them safer. Yeah. So you started with green cleaners, that you thought that was a place to go. What led you into the idea that maybe supporting her body nutritionally would be important?
I knew that right away. I just didn't know where to, again, to go find that. I looked at health food stores. I, looked at other options that said they support nutritional health and optimal health, like, oils and things like that. Nothing really gave me that science proof that I needed until I found our company that I'm with and that I use. And I just thought, now it's all coming together. Now I have the whole picture. Now I have the house. Now I have the supplements. Now I know where to go to support my kids for everything. And, and myself and my husband and our puppies and, like everybody. So I just felt like a piece of me was like filled when I found this company.
Right. So what I'm hearing is now you say, because a lot of, we all know we're all in the marketplace and everybody has a study for everything. Although it was interesting, I was looking at some products today. I happened to be in the beauty aisle at the store. I guess I was just killing time. I don't know why. And it said 95% of women saw, 90% of women felt. And I thought, they're trying to make it look like a study and it's opinion.
It's a lot of fake science.
So I'm allergic to that.
Fake science.
Fake science. So when you saw what people give you testimonials, you were just kind of like, this is the next best thing I know to do.
In fact, several years went by, over 10 years went by until I found it. I was like, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense to me. The way it was laid out, the way I was, introduced to it, was from a science base. And I had a lot of knowledge in my head. And I just knew, just like I knew when my daughter was sick, I just knew this was right. And as farther that I got into it and checking it out more and more, I felt comfortable using it right away. But when I went and checked it out thoroughly, it's the real deal.
So what have you noticed in your family now that, how long have you been using this company's products?
We have been using 2.5 years, almost 3.
Oh, okay. And what did you notice? What did you see anything different, or was it just your peace of mind?
Well, peace of mind is a big part of it, but we noticed results right away. My husband noticed results because it was first just me and him, because we wanted to take it first before, we're going to give it to our kids. So we spent 30 days taking supplements and protein, and he lost 12 pounds without changing a thing. Like, still
besides being a man, he did that.
I know. I was like, really awesome, but okay. Sweet. Energy was big for me. I was a big yeller.
Okay.
And short-tempered. I feel like it's the Irish in me, but I can't continuously.
Not just that, yeah.
But something triggers my Irish flair. But a couple of the specific targeted the complexes were very, very helpful for me, very noticeable right off the bat. So besides the cleaners, which we started with, we started with a few of the supplements. And like I said, my husband didn't change a thing. Actually, he added breakfast, which a shake in the supplements, and lost the weight, and has kept it off for this whole time. So
wow. And so you didn't do, sometimes when people go natural, like I'm thinking about the cleaners, the first thing they do is they go to vinegar.
Yeah, I had done that.
You did that. Okay. And so how is this different than going vinegar?
Well, I don't have really, a ton of science behind vinegar. Vinegar's been around a long time. I don't have my own study, I guess, on vinegar, but I don't know, the smell of vinegar, I guess you could get used to it, but there's still that smell of vinegar.
And I actually went looking to see, because I go to PubMed, right? We had Dr. Cheney here in the group, and he's coming back, yay. And so he promised, so I got him before he got super popular with his books. He's going to honor that. But I thought, okay, I'm going to go just see. And you can go to PubMed and just put some stuff in and see what pops up. There was one kind of sort of a study on vinegar. Nobody studied. Trust me, there's money if you can show that it really, that kind of stuff is antibacterial, there's money to be made if you can prove that. So the argument that there's no grant money for this stuff because there's a conspiracy, that's really not true anymore. Maybe in 1962, but it's not true anymore because there's a lot of money at stake if it is true.
Yes.
You know, and so, you know, if there's the apocalypse, I guess we'll use vinegar, but right now I'm not.
I know.
I don't have to.
Exactly. And you know what? In fact, it's cheaper than vinegar. So I'm okay with that.
That's right. So you met with you were introduced by somebody who had a science background herself.
Yes.
And she was a nutritionist.
Yep. She's a nutritionist and she's got about 13 or 14 other little titles behind her name, including personal trainer, group fitness instructor, corporate health and wellness.
Wow. So how did you get to meet her? Were you with her as a nutrition client or was this?
Nope. She was just an acquaintance. I had a child in my child's class at school.
Okay. And then so she said, I'm going to tell you about this stuff. And you sat down and you went.
Because I'm all like, look, if there's something I'm not knowing, I need to know about it. Like, I want to know if I need to know or I don't. Like, I went to her. I was like, I think I just went to her house. She wasn't far from our school. So I just kind of went to her house and was like, hey, I got a couple questions for you. She's like, oh, yeah, come in. Who are you? But yeah, we're like best friends. So.
Oh, wow. So awesome. So it worked out really well. And you decided at that point that you didn't want to just use the products. You wanted to promote the products.
I did. After about 2 months, I realized that this is something that I can get behind. This is something that I feel 100% comfortable promoting to the young moms that I have a passion for and their children. And, you know, if I can give it to my children after doing all this research and all this, you know, all the issues that we've had, that they're serious, not just like, you know, here and there, that why not? I'm an entrepreneurial type person. I had a business actually at that time. I had double business for a while that are completely opposite. I was a sewing instructor. I taught kids to sew on sewing machines, and I really enjoyed that. I loved that. I loved watching them create things. But now I get to create things with moms and their kids, and it's a better health and a better life. So
it's awesome. So as we wrap up, and then what would be a piece of advice that you would give to moms from your story? If you could sum it up, I hope that's not too big of a question.
No, you know, I think that keep looking for the solution that you feel in your heart that gives you peace. Because even if you're using something right now that you think is maybe the best thing, but it might just be the best thing you found so far. And that was what was like with me. I was like, okay, this is kind of like the best thing I found so far. But if there's something else out there, I wanted to know about it and I wanted to look into it and make sure that yes, it is or it isn't for me. So, you know, just, I guess it's that whole continuously educating yourself and looking into what it might be. Don't be boxed in just because like a doctor says, or your mom says, you know, this or that. You know, do your own research and just be open to the possibility that there might be something out there. Otherwise, I would not be, you know, I don't know where we would be with our daughter. You know, she may have still, you know, be getting complications. We just, you know, in 20, 30 years, you can talk to me again and we see, you know, how this ends up, because our stories are still unfolding. So
right. And so are you still looking for products?
No.
You found your own.
I am all set. I have found everything that I need so far. So
yeah, but I know what you mean about doctors really only know what they know.
Yep.
And that sounds like well, what the heck does that mean? They really can't tell you why.
No.
And they want to know why. They want to know why. They're looking for the switches, especially in autoimmune disease. They want to know what makes the switch go off in this child and not in this child.
Yep. And there are wonderful doctors, and we did have wonderful doctors, but they are specialized sometimes, and sometimes they don't know about nutrition as much as you think they do. And, you know, they only get a semester or half a semester of nutrition in college. And me knowing specifically what my child had wrong and went wrong, and have done that research and been in these groups that and done the science research there, I know what she needs, and I was looking for specific things. So yeah, I'm just so happy that this is coming to our lives. And I definitely, you asked about the business part of it. It took 2 months, and then at the 4-month, we broke out to our first rank. So I was just talking to everybody about it, because this was something very near and dear to me, and it was easy to recommend.
Good. Well, yeah. Thank you so much. Everybody, if you've got a question for Tarrah, post it in in the comment thread. And if you've got a friend who's got maybe a child with a similar issue, or you've got, somebody with autoimmune disease, whether it's for a child or for an adult, the stories tend to be about the same. And maybe they would get some encouragement from Tarrah's story and her family story. Tarrah, thank you so much. And guys, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.